If you don't plan for it, it's not going to happen.
Welcome to the Seven Figure Salon Podcast with Rachel and Drew. I'm Drew.
I'm Rachel.
Welcome to the show. We have gone over a lot. We do these batch episodes. We should have changed, but we didn't today. We should probably change shirts.
Whatever.
You know?
We're leaving for China in like less than a week. No, I think 6 days. Yeah. 6 days.
That's
and
crazy.
I know.
I can't even believe
I honestly
we're
don't
doing that.
even really know what to expect. So 6 days. I am excited to binge watch all of these modules of a course that I'm in right now. I'm super excited about it. And but we're going to be in China, so we don't want to leave you guys hanging while we're gone. So we're going to make sure that we had a couple of episodes in the pipe for you guys. So this is our third of the day.
Third of the day.
Yep.
We've gone over a lot, but really just, man, I don't even know where to go right now.
We talked about where we were going a
Where are we
second
going?
ago.
Where are we going?
We were talking about just like helping you guys plan your year. So a lot of times, you know, what happens is you've got Thanksgiving rush, then you straight into Christmas rush, straight into New Year's rush, and then everybody is burnt the F out. Everyone's burnt out. They're tired. Their freaking neck hurts, their back hurts, their wrist hurts, like everything hurts. And then it's like kind of crickets. Go ahead. Yeah. In the salon in January. So that's also why SalonCon was planned strategically for January, because if there's any time of the year that you and a couple of your top performers can slip away for a few days, it's January. So in January, a lot of times it's like there's a sense of like, with everyone, there's a sense of like, I need to do something big. Like, this is a new year. I need to do something different. I need to plan something different. I want my life to look different. And in business, if you're trying to plan January, but you're halfway in January already, you're kind of like not seizing the moment, like when your team and everyone is feeling the same kind of something. So really planning, I always take off the last 2 weeks of the year. I mean, I'm still like overseeing stuff like through my phone, but I'm not in the salon the last 2 weeks of the year. And what we do together is pretty much like lock ourselves in a room for 2 hours or so, and we plan our entire year together, the things that we want to do. And really what it looks like is we start with the big rocks. Okay. So obviously for us, you know, a lot of it's like our work stuff gets plugged into the calendar first because we have big events. We have things that we're doing that we then have to plan our personal life around. Okay. So it's not really the other way around. It's more so like these are the key things throughout the year for us, and they're strategically placed. Like every 2 to 3 months, we have a big event. So in January, we've got SalonCon. So that would go into January's slot, and we're going to make sure that we have a day on the front end and a day on the back end as buffer, okay, of the event for ourselves. And then in February, we have our Power Couple Experience event, which really was supposed to be in May, but since I'm pregnant, we're going to move it to Valentine's Day weekend, which I actually think is more compatible
More
with.
special.
It is. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
So that's there, right? And then in March, we have Babes in Business Live happening in Charleston. So like bam, bam, bam. Those are 3 major things.
Well, then we have China, and then we have Guadalajara.
Babe, we're talking about January. We're talking about like next year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Those things are happening. And the thing is like the China thing, the Guadalajara trip he just mentioned, like those are things that are going to be happening that honestly have been decided on over the last 6 weeks. So it's like the idea has been there the whole time, but it's like the opportunity and time like we had to like figure out, okay, where the hell can we fit this in? And so when we saw like a week with like a vacancy, we're like, bam, that's where we can do it. Because if we didn't do it then, like we wouldn't have time. And I sure as hell don't want to be on a very long flight, very pregnant on the way to China.
Is it like a whole day? It's like a whole day.
It is like 21 hours.
In a plane.
Yeah. I'm going to bring Benadryl. I'm going to go to sleep.
I can't do that.
Well, you're doing it in 6 days.
Benadryl.
Oh, like you're going to have to get on the plane.
No,
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I did make sure you got a window seat though, so you don't puke.
Thank you.
But yeah, like we've got that. And then
I get a little motion sickness.
April, May, chilling. You know what I mean? Like doing our usual routine. My birthday's in March. We've got Ollie's birthday in April. Like we've
Be in
like
your mid-30s.
what?
Yeah.
I'm 33 right now.
You'll be in your mid-30s, though.
No, I'll almost be in my mid 30s. I'm gonna be 34 or 34.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always say my age with a question mark on the end because I'm not really
middle-aged.
sure.
Yes, the middle-aged.
No. You're going to be 40 before we all know. You want to tell them what I said to you earlier today?
What?
With that, I had that shelf. I was hanging that shelf.
Oh, yeah. This old-ass shelf.
It's my great-great-grandmother's
and,
like
she
awesome
put it,
gold ornate.
This is the worst place to put it. It's a very high traffic, probably the most high traffic spot in our home. She put this old ornate, like multi-generational mirror shelf, and I bumped into it and caught it a couple times. It's just a bad spot. Anyway, she moved it today. She's like, I found a better place for this. I'm like, great. And she goes, it's older than you. And I'm like, what?
But I had this shelf and I like walked by him as I said it and he's like, what is that supposed to mean?
What is
And
that
I
supposed to
didn't
mean?
even
And
like
I've,
say
I've
anything.
always been like I was the young one in like my grade, and I was always the younger person, and 38 now. So like I'm not.
Well, last night at
the
dinner,
younger-
we were the youngest ones in the restaurant.
Yeah,
which
bunch of
made
old
us feel
folks.
good.
Yeah, I love old people. I love
I do
hanging out with
too.
them. And
I
then
really do.
They were eating. You got to go eat where the old people go. That's that's where the good food is, because they don't mess around with their food.
They don't, but
they're very
you
particular.
got to make sure they hold the gravy. There's no gravy, no butter, no
Not into gravy.
no extra fats and things in the
Mm-hmm.
food, because especially in Texas where the old people go, there's fried everything. So, but when you're planning out your year, you got to think about all the big things. Like I want you guys to know this is so simple. Like before you know it, I mean, literally before you know it, within probably 10 minutes, you're going to be like, holy shit. Like I have like a whole year of stuff planned. And about half those things are going to be things that, are personally important to you. The other half are going to be things in maybe events or things that you want to go to. And then all the other spaces in between is where you're going to start spending, planning time to spend with your significant other. Okay. So, what we ended up realizing, and this was for this year, this didn't quite work out exactly the way that we thought, but it did help us at least like be aware. Okay. We had planned, okay, the first weekend of the quarter, we're going to go and take a trip together, and it's not going to be work related, which is hilarious because they always are. But the first weekend of the quarter, we're going to go do an overnight somewhere. Okay. So that means, we're going to go, then you got the months in between. Okay. So for example, February, March, May, June, August, September, and so on. Those months are going to be where you just have an overnight somewhere locally. Okay. So Friday nights are always date nights. Tonight we have a date. It's going to be at home now, I guess, because the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight's happening. But Friday nights we have date night. So what we planned is on the in-between months of the quarter, the first Friday night of the month, we're going to go stay somewhere. We're going to go stay at the Post Oak, or we're going to go stay somewhere in Houston, or maybe drive over to Austin, or take our camper and go, why trash it up somewhere?
Anyway.
That kind of thing. But it's like, if you go and plan those things now, guess what? You have designated time for your marriage, for your relationship. Okay. And then you also have everybody's birthdays plugged in. You've got all the really important events that you want to attend. And, and then whatever's left over, you can do a couple different things with it. You just leave it. You just leave it as blank space, which is a good idea, because I guarantee you're going to find something that's going to fill that space.
Something's going to pop up.
Something's going to pop up. And it's good for you to leave white space, because there are going to be opportunities and things that are going to come up, like spring. I mean, we always also pull out our kids' school calendar. And then here's spring break, here's Christmas break, here's Thanksgiving break. Bam, there's summer, so if you got kids, you're married, your calendar's pretty full already.
For sure. So this is really, really cool, because since we've done this, the amount of life experience that we have had looking back on the first time we did this is way more than prior. Because a lot of people just, Rachel was more planning on events, and we'll kind of take it to another level. Like we're going to Breckenridge, we're bringing the kids to Tulum. You know, I would be like, let's just take the camper to Lake Conroe and call it a weekend. You know, or we actually took the camper to Disney World and drove
That
to
was
Florida.
fun while it was fun, and then it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I was kind of sick. I don't know what's going on with me, but like I was like,
Well, we were trying to beat the hurricane home. Honestly,
yeah, I think I had a little
pretty scary.
virus. Like I was like motion sickness from the spinny rides. I don't like spinny rides. I like roller coasters. But Rachel had me do these rides that were terrible. Like I thought
He's
they
a
were.
wuss. He's a wuss when it comes to roller coasters or anything.
No.
You see him now with his tattoos and his facial hair. You know, Mr. Fit. You know, and then dude won't go on a roller coaster.
No, dude will go on a roller coaster.
Meanwhile, I'm like, yeah.
You know those things that pull you up up in the air and you pull the string and you. I've done that. I did that.
Not since I've known you.
Well, I went on these. She had me go on these spinny rides. I don't like the spinny ones. I don't like feeling dizzy, you know. And there's a space one, and there was like mild and not mild. And she's like, the not mild one is fine. Like, and there's all these warning signs, like if you get motion sickness. And anyway, she talked me into doing the more intense one. And I don't like watching a screen and being moved. You know, I like to see out the window. I get motion sickness. And not horribly to where I'm throwing up everywhere, but just enough to be uncomfortable. So we go into this thing, and it's a very small capsule with a little screen. You're launching into space, you know, and then it's hooked up to this huge machine. It's basically exactly like what I don't want to do, you know. And I'm in a tight little area, which is fine. I'm not claustrophobic, but there's like 4 strangers in this capsule, and we all have jobs to do, apparently, from this ride. And like I have to, I launched us, and I knew my job. I launched us, hit the 2 buttons, and then you're oriented straight up. Like the whole thing turns straight up, and then you feel the G-force, and it's the G-force that makes me want to puke. So the whole thing was terrible, and I come out of that messed me up for the whole day. Like I wasn't quite connected for the rest of the day because I was just a little bit off. I felt ill, you know. And then now she would give me a hard time because I wouldn't go on the roller coaster because I felt sick.
Let me explain. So if you've ever been to Disney and you went to Epcot, and then I believe it's
Epcot was cool.
Missions. No, but that's not even the one. Oh, it was Mission Space. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? You done that?
Oh, absolutely.
It's terrible.
I like virtual rides, but I actually like that.
Do you like that
I
one?
thought it was cool. I was like, man, I'm like really in space right now. This is cool.
I'm really about to throw up on all these strangers.
Well, I actually, because I was going
There's
alone.
I knew I was in trouble when I got in. There's a puke bag. I was like,
He was like,
damn it, Rachel.
He was like, it's not, and he actually went on the easy line. I went on the intense line.
No, I went on the intense one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I got into this capsule, and there was like 4 little girls, like probably
Same.
7, and you were too.
Same full little girls. Yeah. And like they start to get nervous and you can't really see. And I saw these little eyes peek out and look over, you know?
Gosh.
And I was like, don't throw up on the children. You know?
Wow. Well, you know, yeah, but the trips and stuff that you're gonna take with your family, like, if you don't plan for it, it's not gonna happen. And I will tell you if there's anything that I would say I don't say, it's I can't. Really, we can't. I can't. We're big. You know, like I really can't think of anything
No.
that our kids miss because of what we have going on.
Yeah.
We figure out a way. Because I never want our kids to, because we're out of town, because of this, because of that they can't experience something. So we always make sure that like they're in football, they're in volleyball, dance, like anything at all. I want our kids to be able to experience life, and like we just figure it out.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with this I think he's a little older than he looks, but this kid at jiu-jitsu, and his mom and dad are there, and I'll roll with him and teach him some things. And he's smaller, but he was rolling. I was watching him roll. He was just getting crushed by this bigger kid, and I'm trying to coach him. You know, this other kid's real aggressive too, and I was helping him coach and tell him some pointers on how he can kind of, you know, do some things to deal with this guy. And he stood up. He's like, I can't do that because let me explain to you why I can't. And I forget exactly what I said, but I like Rachel's saying, don't register can't. Like that is not something that is top of mind for me. I don't understand that language. I program myself not to, because there's going to be challenges all the way and you have to move through them. So I had to stop the kid pretty abruptly, and I was like, I don't understand what you're saying. So we need to pivot and
No
talk about it differently.
comprende.
No comprende, amigo.
Yeah. So, you have 365 days of time to do whatever it is that you want with it. And if you are listening to this and it's nearing the end of the year and you're like, if you honestly can have a really honest conversation with yourself, did I get to experience life this year the way that I wanted? If the answer is no, plan out this next year. Like, take a teeny bit of time, sit down with your spouse and get the school calendar, get, whatever, save the dates for whatever other things you want to do, grab everybody's birthday, and just like make it fun. Like, make it fun together. Like, plan out your weekends together. It doesn't have to cost you any money. Also, like, you can figure things out. Like, you can save your Amex points, your United, your Chase points, whatever, whoever you bank with. Like, save your points, and like, we hardly pay for any of our flights. Now I will say the trip to China for me, you and Sydney, I mean, that sucked our Amex points pretty dry. But typically, I mean, we can usually get our flight and hotel covered to go do whatever we want, So yeah, just like use your business owner. You're likely a business owner listening to this. Use your credit card points for your personal life. We don't use our credit card points to pay for our Amazon purchases or whatever. It's always like, no, like everybody knows, do not touch my points. My points are for me. That's a perk I have as a business owner, is those business points I am going to personally use, and so that's how we got to go to Cayman Islands completely free for your birthday.
Yep. It was like $100.
Yeah, if they pay like some sort of tax.
There's a lot of chickens running around.
Yeah, that's like their state bird. Just kidding.
No, I remember what had happened. Do you remember the story about what happened to all the chickens in the Cayman?
I don't know.
A storm came and blew down all of the housing for the chickens, and they reproduced, and there were so many of them.
They're everywhere. If you've been to Cayman, you know.
They were just like, screw it. We're just gonna leave them be.
They're just random. Yeah, they're fine. Better than cats. I don't like cats. Just don't. Sorry.
You know why? I know there might be some cat people listen, but they'll understand me when I say this. Cats sketch me out because if that cat weighed 200 pounds, it would kill you when you're not looking. It would sneak up on you when you're not looking, and it would attack you. That's why I don't trust cats.
Yeah, we used to have a cat at my grandma's house. I'm super allergic, so that's also why I really don't like cats. Is because I'm allergic, and my eyes will swell up and I can't see, and I'll just be like nasally and blech. But we had a cat named Tiger, and he used to hang out under my grandma's dining room table, and he literally would just randomly freaking charge at my grandmother and just claw the fuck out of her leg. And I just couldn't even believe it. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, she didn't even do anything. She's a nice old lady, like she didn't even do anything wrong. And yeah, those are like, they're terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely terrifying. My sister, who lives in our backyard, Darby, she actually has 5 cats in her little house. And I see them through the glass, but I'm like, do not
how many
come near me.
We did this the other day. How many they're little killing machines. How many animals do house cats kill per year? Y'all ever look this up?
Good luck naming this episode, Brooks. I have no idea what you're going to name this one.
Wow. And between 129 and 338 million mammals.
I'll just call it, how many animals do cats kill?
Millions. That is such
That'll
a
get
huge
some clicks.
That is such a huge number. House cats.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I don't trust them.
Not one bit.
They're little savages.
They are. That's millions. That's crazy, man. So
They go after what they want. I'll give them that.
Yeah, and they bring you like little dead things. And you're like, oh.
And they're strategic.
Yeah.
But I also think they're selfish. Very selfish. So in as you guys plan your year, we're actually, I have a little resource for you guys. And I'll include it for you, Brooks, to put in the description. I have a little resource that I think would be really helpful to help you guys plan your year. And this is something that we do inside of our 7FS mastermind, but I'm going to share this resource with you guys, all of you guys listening. And if you're not in the beauty industry listening to this, I know we have quite a few viewers and listeners that are not specifically in the beauty industry, but you find our podcast helpful. This is something that you can use too. This has absolutely nothing to do with a salon specifically at all. This is just planning your time, taking charge of your life, and being able to make time for the things that matter most to you. So we'll put that in the description below. And also, guys, please.
What is it?
What?
What is it?
I'm not going to tell them what it is. They need to click it. They need to go they need to explore it. It's going to be in the description. It's awesome. I absolutely love it. And I think it's going to help a ton. And it's going to be a resource.
Picture of a cat.
No cats. It's going to be a replay of a training that I've done. And it's also going to be an actual resource to a template that you can plan your year with. But I want to ask for a favor. You know, how many episodes is this now, Brooks? 63 episodes now. 63 episodes for free. We've been doing this podcast. We have absolutely zero sponsorships on this podcast. We are very much bringing this to you guys. We don't want to bore you with ads and all this other shit. Like, we do this podcast out of the goodness of our own heart. And I'm going to ask you guys a small favor. If you wouldn't mind, please leave us a review. Leave us a review and share this podcast on your story. I don't ask for a lot. We're always very much giving to our community, but I want to ask you guys for a favor to be able to do that, because that'll help us grow this podcast beyond where we're currently growing it. If you find it valuable, if you're listening to these episodes, share it on your story. Leave us a little love note in the review. If you're gonna leave us 1 star, please don't. But actually, nobody had a hater leave a 1 star. I know who they are. They just don't like us. They live here locally and are jealous and little turds. But everyone else, so they ruined our 5-star rating. But yeah, leave us something. You know, let us know what you want to hear on these podcasts. That helps us really know how we can serve you best. So I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys when we get back from China.
Yeah. Later.